Hold on. Hold on. Because what I'm saying is, hold on, let me get started, girl. Hi everyone, this is Raquel.
Hi, and this is Jennifer.
Welcome to Madness Cafe.
This is a feminist podcast where we talk about women's issues, politics, and health and wellness.
And where those issues intersect. Hey everybody, welcome back to Madness Cafe. Today is another installment in our banned book series, and this time we're talking about this book right here, Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower. I have been wanting to read this book since it came out in 93.
What took you so long?
Girl, who the fuck knows? That could be a question for 99.9% of the things in my life. But to be fair, when it came out, I was in law school.
Oh, well, there you
So
go. You were
I
busy.
wasn't reading anything for pleasure
Right.
during law school. And I certainly didn't read anything for pleasure for a very long time after that as well. Even magazines. Like I would just slip through and read the pictures. If the articles were too long, I couldn't do it because literally my brain was just fucking fried.
Right.
But then, then of course life takes over and blah, 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 blah. So
Oh, and then you had to get a job, and
then
then
I
you
had
had
to
to
get a
pay rent, and then
job and all this stuff and was kind of a debt slave as Octavia gets into here. But
kind of
anyway,
what the book is about.
yeah, yeah. But
Should
yeah,
have read it. Should have read it. Maybe you wouldn't have become a debt slave.
well, no, I probably still would have.
I mean, how do we avoid it?
Exactly. Yeah, but I've been wanting to read this book like basically since it came out. Because when this book hit, it hit with like, I mean, just like a fucking firestorm. And I didn't mean for there to be a pun there, but it is very fitting because fire is a significant theme in this book, as well as this is the year of the fire horse. And, you and I were talking before we started recording about how the fucking fire horse is getting a little close and maybe is singeing us because we're feeling it in our own personal lives. But
Well, I personally thought that the year of the fire horse would start with something exciting and liberating, and yet
mm-hmm,
and maybe it's yet to come as
mm-hmm.
in the story of the book, but it seems like the year of the fire horse has come in kicking with the actual fucking storm of the fire. I
Yeah,
want to,
like I'm like burning shit down and
yeah.
whatever. Like this is not gentle. Neither is this book. So there's if fire is not operating in the year of the fire horse at this point, nor in this book. Fire is not operating as a gentle uh tool. It is a it's necessary. Hello, you need fire to cook and to keep warm and but it's also a tool of destruction, burning down shit that doesn't serve you anymore, whether you're ready for that shit to be burned down or not. The burning of neighborhoods in this book, the burning of people, the drug in this book called pyro, where that's just one of the many names, where people are literally overcome by fire in every sense of the word, emotionally, mentally, physically, in all the ways. Like they're drawn to it and into it because people literally walk into the flames because of the drug pyro. So I really like the way that we're starting this discussion because that's a really creative way to tie all of this together, and I really like that. I don't think we necessarily intended to start it that way, but I really like the way that this has happened.
I believe there are no accidents in the world. And we were reading this book the week that the Chinese New Year, the year of
Mhm.
the fire horse. And I don't know how you felt, but I do know some of how you felt because we've talked about it. We're both having some stress in our lives, as
Mhm.
as is the whole entire planet with the
Mhm.
Epstein files and everything coming out.
And just the world as it
And
is being a fucking literal dumpster fire.
and yet
Mhm.
I was reading this book, and the book actually has been helping me to digest it. And
Mm,
I woke up the morning of the Chinese New Year with a very strong thought in my head that everything's going to be okay. And now this is all coming back to me. And it's when I texted you and Tiffany that weird cryptic text that I sent out because I read
yeah.
it into Surrey and Surrey messed up the words.
Yeah.
But basically, the message was that that it that our job is not to get caught in the fire. Our job now is creation.
Hmm.
Creation. What are we going to create? Very much like
Hmm.
our hero in the book,
Yeah. Lauren.
Lauren. What do we create from this? And in fact, I'm skipping way ahead,
No, no, no. That's totally cool.
but it opens with all that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change.
Hmm.
And further, we get to creation is God, God is creation, the universe is God, and we see how it's all it's
It's
all
all connected.
entwined. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
all connected.
It's all connected. And with God being change and us being an agent of change, God is also in us, right?
Yes.
Like we are
That's
also agents of God, however you want to term that, because we are also agents of change and we are not immune to being changed. So I think that's a really important part of
or
the book.
changing everything that we touch.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we are all like pebbles being thrown into a pond. We, however we get into that pond, our presence has an effect somewhere else down the line, right? Whether we're thrown into the pond or, or we fall into the pond or what, I mean, whatever, you can continue that analogy however you want, but change happens whether we intend it to or not.
Is it a book about manifestation? That we are people are incarnate, we're here to manifest that. Like, think about it. People are on this earth and we created this fucking system that we
Hmm.
have. Like, we
Hmm.
had all of the trees and the oceans and the mountains and the animals and beauty, and we created patriarchy and capitalism. That's what we chose. And now
That's
that
that's what men chose. Well, I guess we as women and like we all chose in a way because we
accepted it,
we held it up.
what choice did we have?
We could have in the beginning we could have maybe joined together and risen up and fought against patriarchy and capitalism, but people weren't necessarily unifying in that way during that time. I don't
I
know.
think this discussion is super important, and I think it's actually what the book is about.
Right.
Why did the book get banned?
Okay, so this book was banned for a list of reasons. Okay. Like literally one, two, three, four, five, or what I wrote down from some of the
Go
research that I found.
Octavia, go
I know,
Octavia,
right? Right.
go
She
Octavia.
was not playing around. She's like, I got shit to say. Y'all going somebody's gonna hear it. Fuck all of y'all. I'm totally putting words in this woman's mouth. She died in 2006. So anyway, it's banned because of intense mature content and dystopian themes, mature and violent content, religious and philosophical themes, political and social criticism, and concerns over extremism. So that's a pretty
Go
hefty.
Octavia, go Octavia.
Right,
This was a
right.
good book.
It's a really good book, and Octavia Butler is a force to be reckoned with. This woman utilized words and ideas and themes in a way that you don't see very often. Like there is strength and power in the way that Octavia Butler writes and the way that she wields her words, and she's basically pulling from the past and extrapolating forward. And there was a video that I watched on TikTok, or not TikTok, I'm sorry, on YouTube that I sent to you. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it
I
yet,
watched it. Yeah.
where it's a subgenre of science fiction fantasy called something along the lines of if this continues, if this goes, or
Yeah.
I'm saying it wrong, but
No, you're not. If
oh,
this
okay,
continues was
okay,
the premise.
okay. So
If
basically,
this
like,
racist shit continues,
right, like
it
looking at where the world is, because, like we said, this book was published in 93. She sets it in, like, it begins in 2023.
yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that like she extrapolates forward with where things were in the 90s, or even like late 80s. I'm not sure when she started writing the book, but she's extrapolating forward and can see this is where this shit is going to end up if people don't rethink some shit and like redo things. Like, take a look at what's happening and where this is going to, like, have some forethought and see where this shit is going to get you. Maybe make some different fucking decisions.
Yes.
So, and I actually read on, it was either Reddit or Goodreads, somebody who was reading the book or who had just finished it was, kind of typing their sort of review about it. And the person was like, yeah, I was at first thinking, oh, this book is happening now. And they're like, oh, the only thing that made me realize this wasn't actually happening is that nobody had cell phones.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was the thing that tipped somebody off. And if that's the only thing that tips you off that this isn't actually happening or about to happen, time to wake the fuck up. Because this book, so for people who haven't read this book, it's dystopian, but it's also, although Octavia Butler didn't like the word utopia because she's like, there can't be a perfect society because there are no perfect people. But it's utopia. I think utopian in the sense that it's foreseeing a better future.
I think it's about creation,
Yeah.
not necessarily utopia, but how do we and we are in some ways at the same crossroads that are in the book.
hmm
Not exactly the same, but here we have the fire horse upon us. And what we're seeing in terms of destruction in the world today may not be the exact destruction of the book, but
hmm
it all comes from the same source.
Yeah.
It comes from the white supremacist ideas,
hmm
the Christian patriarchy. It comes from the wage slave
hmm
mentality.
Yep. The
Um,
intense wealth gaps.
and we are seeing that intense. I mean, I bought groceries today, like two little bags, and it was 150 fucking dollars.
hmm
I was like,
hmm
what the hell shit was that?
Yep, exactly.
And yet there's some things that really strike me about her. She's a young girl when this starts. She's like
hmm
16 or 17 in the beginning.
15, I think.
15. Okay,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
She's 18 or 19 by the end of the first book.
hmm
And she says from the beginning, I aim to survive.
Yeah.
I aim to survive. And I thought, and I thought that I took that. I was like, in my own angst about where we are in the world
hmm
with all these files coming out and all this talking about people eating babies and shit that I can't even digest. No pun
hmm
intended there either.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I aim to survive. That's a
hmm
starting point, but that
hmm
isn't about what rises from the ashes.
hmm
Like we could just recreate the same thing.
hmm
We could take down people in power and just create the same power system.
Exactly. Yeah.
We could do matriarchy and it could be no different from patriarchy if we aren't careful with what we create. I know that that's not
Yeah.
what matriarchy is, so that's a
Right.
misuse of the word, but we could have a women on top, or we
Right.
could flip.
Which is not exactly what matriarchy
It's
is,
not
which
at
is
all
what
what
people
matriarchy
always
is.
think. It's not women on top. It's a system of community, and it's a system of people caring for each other. It's society caring for its members, not
That's right.
like power over, it's power among.
It's actually children focused, children centered, society centered, taking
Mhm.
care of your community centered.
Taking care of the most vulnerable.
Exactly.
And honestly, like I'm just gonna jump ahead, but like, and that's to some extent what Lauren, the protagonist in the book, the main character, our heroine, if you want to call her that, uh, that's what she's doing in a sense. Like, yes, she's like, I mean to survive, but she's bringing people with her,
Yeah, she
right?
is.
Like, she's like, there's power in community, and how, I'm not going to leave somebody by the side of the road, literally, that I could help. And maybe that person comes with me, maybe they don't. I don't necessarily get anything out of it other than I helped somebody who was vulnerable, like helping the old man who fell in the street, helping him up. Because if somebody saw him laying in the ground, they're going to be like, oh, he's a target and he's an easy target, right? So she was basically saving that man's life. And then with, what is it, Jill and her sister, whose name I can't think of right now.
Me neither.
Yeah,
You're
but
you're the one who thinks of names, not
yeah,
me.
yeah, 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 yeah. But the two sisters who they hear crying out for help because their house had fallen, or their shelter had fallen on them, and they needed help getting out. And there's a lot that we as a society can learn from that. Like, if you hear somebody's cries for help, go help them. It doesn't have to be
You
what's
mean
in it
don't
for
go
me.
rob them and take their shoes and leave them dead?
Right, exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's like, and then to basically exact the promise and commitment from the members of your group that this is like, we are together, we survive as a unit, we protect each other,
Yeah.
right? Like, this is a unit, this isn't, you're in it for yourself, you're making a commitment to the group, to the unit, to the society, to that we care for each other. I mean, when you think about it, that's part of what societies were about, whether they were, tribal units that would journey from one bit of farmland to another or whatever, or, small groups that settle and then eventually build towns that come around that. The idea is we are here for each other, right? We are here to make sure that, I mean, again, not a Bible person, but there's one theme in the Bible of something about caring for the least of these. I know I just butchered that, but people who know the Bible know what I'm talking about. Don't come for me for that shit. Like, I could give a shit, but the
It's
idea.
I'm looking at you with a blank stare because I don't. I'm not familiar with that one.
Right, it's just
And many others.
and many others. But that's the idea, right? Like, the idea is from the ashes, literally from Lauren's neighborhood being burned down, from many other neighborhoods and towns and whatever in the dystopian world that are being burned down, from that other things will rise. And what are those things going to be? Are they going to be just roving bands of vigilantes who are out to kill and harm and maim and steal? Or is it going to be a society where its members commit to each other to keep each other safe and to care for each other?
And they kill
And,
everybody else.
well, to protect yourself as necessary, right?
Yeah.
To protect what you are building. And but if those people outside the group, if they are willing to commit to support and care for the people in that society and to help protect it, then yes, you are welcome, right? And that's what societies are supposed to be. That's how they started out generally.
But isn't like
Men get into power and then they get all, they get all fucked up and drunk on power, and
they
they're
do.
like, I must have power over rather than power among.
It's an interesting concept because it's almost like humanity keeps going in these circles,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
there's this tribalism and everybody's split and tribes are like killing each other, and then we realize, oh, we're all humans, and then we become a bigger society, and then we get bigger and we're more diverse and we're having people come in, but then in with that diversity there's some tribalism that still exists, and then my people are right but your people are wrong, and then there's wars and killing, and it's like we keep creating the same thing
Mm-hmm.
again and
Mm-hmm.
again and again and again. To
Mm-hmm.
me that part is depressing. Did you
Mm-hmm.
find the book depressing, uplifting? How would you describe, like when you close that book and you put it
Mm-hmm.
down, how did you feel?
Okay, this is going to be a little difficult for me because, like we said, we alluded to this a little bit in the beginning. I'm going through some shit
Yeah.
right now, and
Fire
yeah,
horse.
yeah, like I'm going through some shit. I'm at like the beginning of a lot of changes
God has
on the
changed.
horizon. Yeah, fuck. We all know how I feel about God, but anyway, thinking about it that way, this was a really heavy book for me. This was a really heavy book,
It was
and
a heavy book.
I mean, yeah, this is not light and rainbows, people, at
No.
all. No, I mean, and nor is most of history. Like it's not light and rainbows, right? Like just history is not light and rainbows. Envisioning a new future or where we go from here, not necessarily light and rainbows. There's a lot of like messy shit that goes into envisioning a new future. The part of the book where Lauren's neighborhood is is basically attacked, and it's being burned down and people are being killed and raped and brutalized and all the things, and then as Lauren is making her way, her group is growing. I mean, I felt all that shit physically.
Yeah.
So that was really hard. It was really, really hard, and it was very emotional for me because partly because Octavia Butler is an amazing writer,
Yeah, she is.
and there's a lot of clarity in the way that this woman writes. So
Agreed.
there's no, oh, I couldn't really see what she was. Oh no, you see everything Octavia wanted you to see.
I
She
agree.
she uses her words very well. Reading all that, it was not difficult for me. It's not much of a jump for me to see all of that happening right now. And I dare say there's probably areas of our country, definitely areas in the world. Things like this are already happening in the world.
Yeah.
And it's not much of a jump to envision this stuff happening right here, right now, where we live. In the 60s, when all of the protests were going on for civil rights and things like that, there were, like, for instance, the Watts riots, where people, out of immense frustration, generations of frustration and pain and anger and feeling useless, nothing was coming of their labors. Like people just literally just burned shit down. Literally, like we talk all the time about burning down the patriarchy and burning down this and burning, but we aren't talking literally. Like we aren't saying go ahead and burn that shit down. Like here's a match. That's
Well,
not
I
what we're saying. But things like that did happen.
are you sure
It,
that's not what we're saying? Because I think we are saying that to some degree.
well, to some degree, but we're not saying violence, right? Like to be
I,
fair, at least I mean, maybe somebody is talking about violence, but I'm sorry. Violence is, I mean, okay, Captain Obvious here, but violence is fucking scary. And you know what?
it is.
Yeah, people can joke all around and and say burn shit down and mean actually burning shit down. But guess what? The people saying that aren't the people who are going to be directly affected by that shit. I will be affected by that. Black and brown people are the ones who are going to get caught up in that fire, right? So no, I'm not saying literally burn shit down. Change it. Yeah, absolutely. I'm
The
not saying actually use fire as your tool. I'm not being literal about this. But what I'm saying is those scenes in this book scared the absolute fuck out of me because there are people who are like, okay, yeah, give me a match, goddamn, I'll burn some shit down. Ah, ha, ha. No, no,
I,
because my black ass will get caught up in it, whether I intend to be or not. And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to survive, goddamn. I'm not here to be part of the fucking fire.
I aim to survive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a big part of the book. I aim to survive. But look what happened. I love, like, she's 15 or 16 or however old, and she's reading books about how to survive. I
Mm-hmm.
thought about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to grow a garden. I suck, man. I'm gonna starve when this shit goes
Girl,
down.
girl, I'm not good at that shit either. I've
I
tried.
am gonna
Uh-uh.
starve.
That is not
I
where my strengths lie
I
when
did
when
learn
the
how to
new
make
society comes
bread, but you
around.
got to have an oven for that, right?
You just need fire. You can bake bread in an open campsite.
Sure, if you have food.
Well,
I mean,
sure.
if you have, like, I just don't think I'm gonna survive.
Well, that's why this ties right in. That's why you need different people with different strengths and different things that
Totally.
they bring to the table. That's why diversity is important because everybody has different strengths. Boom.
Totally, totally. But I'm just going to disagree with you a little bit here because I think people mean when they say burn down the patriarchy. I think they mean burn down the patriarchy.
Okay.
I
Say
mean,
more, please.
okay. Way back when I went to Jerry, remember Jerry, the
Mm-hmm.
gender equity reconciliation? In that conference, there was a lot of talk of, it was all about gender differences, right? And they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about burning down the patriarchy. And this actually came up. Did
Mm-hmm.
people mean burn it down with a match, like actually
Mm-hmm.
fucking burn it down? Or was it more like these systems have to stop?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of people in that room didn't believe that the systems were ever going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
That there's no politician we're going to elect,
Mm-hmm.
the birds of a one wing
Birds
and
of a oh yeah.
yeah, one wing and that's the same bird kind of
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
They didn't believe that the systems were going to change, that we
Mm-hmm.
actually had to end something,
Mm-hmm.
destroy it, destruct it, be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that means it collapses from an earthquake, it collapses because we've burned it down with a match, or it collapses because look at the shit that's going on right now. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
we're about to feel some sort of collapse. I don't know
Yeah.
what that means exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember Will Keepan said, okay, let's not focus on it collapsing. It's going to collapse of its own will.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to
Mm-hmm.
burn down. It's going to collapse. Whatever's going to happen. It's already on that. I mean, we
Yeah.
can look at
Mm-hmm.
the climate, and we know that the world is accelerating and like we're overproducing, we're over consuming. There isn't enough
Yeah.
food. Well, there actually is enough food, but we have hoarders, so we're hoarding at
Yeah.
massive rates.
Yeah.
So it's like we know the system is gonna whatever, it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
collapse.
Mm-hmm.
But the real focus needs to be, and again, I think that's what the book is about, and that's what we've been talking about, what rises from it.
Right.
And that's where the fear comes in, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then don't let me speak for you, but I think in reading the book, I'm like, oh shit, what if I don't survive? I aim to survive, but what if I actually don't have the skill? Or what if they do come in the night and they burn my house down while they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to burn the patriarchy, not knowing that I don't want the patriarchy to survive either,
Mm-hmm.
because this chaos just turned everybody against everybody, regardless of political views or regardless of how people felt around. You couldn't even trust the person walking next to you with a baby because they may try to kill you while you're
Right.
sleeping and take
Right.
your shoes,
Right. Right.
right? Because it was so much freaking chaos. And how do you actually survive? I aim to survive. And
Mm-hmm.
then once you've survived, which I'm not so sure I would,
Mm-hmm.
then how do you rebuild?
Right.
And what do you rebuild?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so many options
And
because
and do how do you get people to join you in the vision that you
And
have.
trust and
Yeah.
trust. And that really is what this book is about, right? Because she
Hmm.
does have a vision. People could debate whether it's right or wrong. She has her own almost religion that she's creating
Hmm.
with Earthseed, and God is change, and change is the universe, and
And,
universe is
and
God. And
she realizes that it will morph over time. I mean, she's already seen it morph, but she also realizes that after she's gone, it will continue to change and grow and morph, and it may not necessarily look the way that she intended it at the very beginning.
I mean, does any religion look the way whoever began it
Mm-mm.
intended it to look?
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
The book, in a way, is a parable of how maybe how life works.
Hmm.
Or
Well,
maybe
and it comes from the parable of the sower from the Bible about, and I'm gonna probably get this wrong in my retelling of it, but the idea of it, the gist of it is that, and this is where the name Earthseed comes from, is that you're, as a sower, you're basically like throwing seed, right? And
yeah.
seed lands where it lands. Either it lands among thorns and nothing happens, or it lands on fallow ground and and rocks and birds eat it, or it lands on fertile ground and grows and becomes what it is meant to be. And so that's where Earthseed, the name of this philosophy, I prefer to call it, rather than religion, because Lauren's like, fuck God. God is not what I'm here for. I'm here for a way of
I don't think she ever said
imagining
fuck
what
God.
she didn't. Okay, I'm putting words into. Sorry, Octavia and Lauren, but basically she's saying this is a way to live and a way to think of, this is a way to make sense of the world around you, a philosophy. I think it's, and seeing that God is not this authority figure out in the ether. It's not this what's the word that they use? Basically, it's not this thing that's outside you. It's not this superficial like thing imposed above you. It's
Right.
not this heavenly thing. It's attainable and it is within you. It is here. We are all of this thing that she's calling God, so that people have like an entry point, but it's not religion, it's more philosophy, in my opinion.
Page 78.
Okay.
Why is the universe? To shape
Hmm.
God. Why is God? To shape the universe.
Hmm.
I think that's in a way what you're saying. On
Yeah.
page, what page is this? 103, chapter 10, the beginning of chapter 10.
Hmm.
When apparent stability disintegrates, as it must, God is change. People tend to give in to fear and depression, to need and greed. When no influence is strong enough to unify people, they divide, they struggle. One against one, group against group, for survival, position, power. They remember old hates and generate new ones. They create chaos and nurture it. They kill and kill and kill until they are exhausted and destroyed, until they are conquered by outside forces, or until one of them becomes a leader. Most will follow, or a tyrant, most fear.
Right. And see, so I noted that section as well. I drew a little thing around it because like that is a lesson that we need to take from this book, one of
I mean,
many.
who are we following right now? The
Right.
tyrant that most
Exactly.
fear.
Exactly. But what we need to take from this is what we need to watch out for and what we need to take account of and plan for in our vision of what comes next. Because, like it says here, people tend to give in to fear and depression, to need and greed. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's Maslow's hierarchy of need, right? Like at the very bottom, you need shelter and food.
Right.
And, those are the things that
And if
people
those
absolutely,
rich people next to you in their gated community have shelter and you don't, you're going to burn it down and take it.
sure, sure. Because in that world, there's nothing outside of those walls to help the people who don't have what is necessary to live in that walled area. And that's where we are dangerously close to being right now, is that the safety nets that people need so that they don't become like the people outside the walled cities in this near dystopia, then this is what we will get. This is because I mean, no, Octavia Butler is not a prophet. She was a very smart woman who had forethought and decided to actually go, okay, with this forethought, let's see this through. Let's play this out logically and see where it goes. This is where the world that we live in now may very well go, unless we have forward thinkers and people who have a unifying idea, so that we aren't group against group fighting for shit to just burn down.
Page 126, at beginning of chapter 12. We are Earthseed, the life that perceives itself changing. What do you think that means?
That we have it within us to make a new future. We don't just have to succumb to what is happening right now. Like, we don't just have to like lay down and wait to die, for fuck's sake. Like, if we're meant to survive, if we truly mean to survive and thrive, not just be one of the people walking along the highway hoping they don't get raped and pillaged and burned alive, then we need to figure out what the fuck we need to do so that we can actually thrive as well as survive. And that's where we as a society need to come up with our own earth seed, right? And we need to figure that, that's the envisioning that you bring up all the time, that I'm trying to get better at, is
I'm trying to figure it out too. That's why I bring it up all the time.
right.
On page 142, top of the page, not now, I said, I can't see how anything is going to work out now. Everything's too crazy. Then he says, and what? You think it's all going to get sane? It's never been sane. You just have to go ahead and live no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Has it ever been sane? Like we look at where we are right now and we think the world is a disaster, it's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever a time when it was actually good? Where it wasn't a mess?
For some people, sure. Yeah, but for everybody across the board,
But
no.
that's what I'm saying. If we believe that no one is free until everyone is free,
Mm-hmm.
if we believe that we are all one, that what affects me affects you, is the
Mm-hmm.
world ever like we're continuously harming ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Has
Mm-hmm.
there ever been a good state of affairs? Have there always been people in power who are hoarding and
Well, I think there have been pockets of where it was working for all of the people of that unit or of that
I mean, I
society.
grew up
Like,
in a neighborhood that was relatively safe and we didn't have a walled community around us, but I guess in some regard, like metaphorically we did.
right, right, yeah. And the walls exist. Yeah, some are metaphorical, some are very much physical.
Yeah.
Very much. I mean, there's gated neighborhoods, like especially here in Atlanta, there's
All
gated
over the
neighborhoods
place.
all over the place. You literally, and not very far from where I live. It
Yeah.
won't take much for me to get to an area that's gated. And well, hell, my apartment complex is gated. Does that necessarily mean that it's that helpful? Because, sometimes it is, maybe it isn't. I don't really know. Maybe. Uh,
Okay. I'm going to keep throwing these out at you.
sure.
On page 153, beginning of chapter 14, in
Hmm.
order to rise from its own ashes, a phoenix must first burn.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're kind of talking about now?
But
We
yes,
don't want to burn. Like
yes, yes.
it's the fire horse. I don't want to burn. This is fucking uncomfortable. In fact, it fucking hurts.
Yeah, yeah, fucking sucks. Part of me feels like, though, that some people have already been burning.
Oh yeah, but have we burned?
No, 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 no. Hold on. Let me.
Okay.
I think, and we're seeing this with everything that's happening in Minnesota with Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy.
Sure.
People are talking about, oh my God, two people got shot by law enforcement and killed, whether it's, federal law enforcement, whoever.
Yeah,
This is not a new story. It's a new story for white people.
that's true.
Okay. So black and brown people and poor people have always been burning. Our phoenixes are already up and rising. They're already there.
Are they
Okay.
rising?
Yes, but people aren't looking. Not everybody's looking. That's the thing. Like we do have phoenixes that are rising. Stacey Abrams, Maxwell Frost, the woman in Minnesota, Adrian Gomez or Andrea Gomez, Ilhan Omar, what's his name? Keith Ellison in Minneapolis, who's the attorney general there. I actually know him peripherally because he ran a one of the clinics at the law school at the U when at University of Minnesota when I was here. So I have met him and had conversations with him time to time. He won't remember me. It means nothing. But, you know,
That
um,
sounds like a parasocial relationship.
nah, not really. It's just that I have met him and have had conversations with him. I mean, like anybody else at the law school at the time at the U, they've
So
all,
you
so
see
so
politicians as the phoenix rising.
I'm talking
No?
about neighborhood. I'm talking about leaders, individual leaders that are coming up and saying,
So
"Hey, y'all need to fucking pay attention. Phoenixes are already here. We just need to listen to them."
you see people as the phoenix rising.
Yeah. Yeah. And as it is with this book with Lauren with Earthseed, the she's basically just putting down a philosophy, a
She
way
is.
to live.
She
So,
is.
and those thoughts, whether she's a channel or it's her own thoughts or whatever, they're coming from a human, right? So we humans have to be the agents of positive change because we sure as shit are agents of chaos. But we have
Yes.
it in us to be agents of positive change as well. Look at all these people who are coming up who are like, listen, goddamn, this is what y'all need to fucking pay attention to. This is the way we need to envision how we go forward and where we go from here. But not enough people are listening yet. And so what I was starting with Renee Good and Alex Preddy, what those deaths are, yes, tragic, preventable, shouldn't have happened. I, I'm as mad as anybody else about any of that. But those their deaths are making other people start to wake up. So maybe that so maybe the phoenixes maybe are Alex and Renee for white people who haven't been paying attention up until now, right?
Yeah.
Like they are.
I see what you're saying. I never envisioned the phoenix rising as people. I didn't see it that way. I saw it more as a system crumbles, another system has to emerge.
But those systems are created and kept alive
Yeah,
and
I see what you're
led
saying.
by people.
I
And
see what
that's
you're saying.
that's where community is.
Right,
Power
right.
is in community.
I see what you're saying. I just never really saw it that way before. Okay, this part really, really struck me because I like to say I want to eat the rich, right?
Yeah. Oh God, I know. Oh, I think I know what part you're going
So
to
on
talk about.
page 163,
Oh God.
they're talking about some of the destruction in their world. And
Yeah.
she died for us, the scavenger woman had said of the green face. Some kind of insane burn the rich movement, Keith had said. We've never been rich, but to the desperate, we look rich. We were surviving and we had our wall. Did our community die so that addicts could make a help the poor political statement? I loved
I
that
under
part.
I underline that part too.
I loved that part
Yeah.
because it makes me think about, I mean, it just made me think, it just made me think,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
to, I don't think I'm rich, but to the majority of the world, I'm rich.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've
Yeah,
often,
I certainly am not rich, but to
you have a
but
house.
I do have more than a lot of people,
Yeah.
right?
And I think about like how, in order to, I mean, the really rich, the uber rich, the rich
Mm-hmm.
that shouldn't even exist,
Right. The billionaires and now trillionaires.
yeah, billionaires, trillionaires. It shouldn't even, it should be a crime against humanity to be a trillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they exist, that's a whole different thing. But for those of us who are surviving, maybe
Mm-hmm.
not thriving, but are surviving, I think part of the hard part about wanting the world to equalize is that we're going to have to give some of what we have to make. Although, if the fucking billionaires would just get on board, we wouldn't have to because,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it is interesting. It definitely makes one think.
Well, and okay, so
Burn the rich movement.
here's what I think people get caught up in is that people think that in whatever this new society is that we're envisioning, that we want and maybe some people do want everybody to have the exact same, right? Everybody has the exact same. So people think if that's what the situation is going to be, then what the fuck? I can't have more than somebody else. So people get upset by that, right? And I get it. I get it. But we're not saying, or at least I'm not, like my vision of the future that we need to bring about, or whether it's, matriarchy or, earth seed or something totally different. But whatever we need to envision, it's not that everybody, in the way I see it, it's not that everybody has the exact same. It's that everybody has at least what they need
So
to
basic needs taken
survive
care of.
and be comfortable. Yes, take care of people. Yeah, there will always be somebody who has more than you, but if you have what you need to survive and have some joy in your life, then there you go. You're good,
I
right?
asked myself this morning when I was journaling, I was
Mm-hmm.
doing Leslie's shift practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote, I'm feeling a renewed sense of aliveness, of hope, of a return to creation mentality. I think this book helped get me there, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Good.
If the patriarchy is finally crumbling, thank God, and what takes its place for me. So then I wrote down what I think. And I see what you're saying about this basic survival limit, but I think it's more. So for me, it's no borders. I'll continue to say that. No
Mm-hmm.
fucking borders, no countries, no borders. Care for ourselves and neighbors, less work, more joy, art, writing, sharing, needs being provided for without hustle culture,
Mm-hmm.
moms and children being centered, freedom, travel, waking when I'm rested.
Mm-hmm.
Like waking up because I'm rested, not because a fucking alarm clock goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Love, loving other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was just the
It,
beginning of me trying to, like, what does it actually look like? What does it
yeah.
look like to you?
Well, I think it's just what I said, that people's not just basic necessities, right?
I want I
I
want
think it
people to be
needs to
able to
be
do art.
right. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting there. But basically, it's not just basic necessities. Yes, that's part of it. But people need more than that, right? People need to
Purpose.
feel okay. People can create their own purpose.
No, that's not it.
that people can find their purpose or not. I don't give a shit. Whatever. Just don't, if you don't have purpose, just don't fucking hurt anybody. I don't give a shit. You don't have to have a purpose. I don't care. That's
Well,
on
now
you.
we have to have laws again because
No,
people
no.
are fucking hurting people.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Hold on. Hold on. Because what I'm saying is, hold on. Let me get started, girl. Uh, is if people have their basic needs met plus a little bit more, So they aren't feeling like, well, it's just I just have enough to get by. No, 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 no. Give people a little more than just enough to get by. Let people have enough so they can have some fun, right? Have some joy in their lives, have some ease. But there's also opportunity that if you work a little more, you get a little more. If you can't work more, that's okay. You're still cared for. No one is leaving you behind to die on the damn road. You will be cared for. You will be loved, right? You will have what you need, right? Like, look at countries like Sweden or Norway or places that have universal health care, right? Like places like that, like people who live there will tell you, yeah, there are still people who have more than other people. But the point of it is that everybody has their basic needs met and there's some ease to their lives because they don't have to worry about, well, fuck, what if I lose my job? What if my car breaks down? What if I get sick? What if my parent or my child gets sick and I need to take a step back to care for them? How are we going to have money for food and for lodging and all that? They don't have to worry about that. There is an ease there that we are being taken care of. But if I want to do more, then yes, I can get more. That's what I'm saying. That's what I envision a new whatever this new society is. That's what I'm envisioning. And these countries, they have laws. They have
I think
laws. People still need laws. People still need guardrails and boundaries.
when you describe all of that to me, it
Hmm.
still sounds like capitalism. It still sounds like capitalism, except for in a system where everybody gets a certain check every month. But then guess what? I'm going to overspend that. So I'm going to get a bigger job. I'm going to get into a bigger mortgage. And then I'm right back into the rat race in the same way that I've always been.
Because you chose to get there, because
But
you chose to put yourself
I
there.
think that's human nature.
I don't think it is. I mean, there's plenty of people who are like, look, I'm good with what I got. Plenty of people in the world who are like, I'm good with what I got.
Well,
Plenty of people. Not everybody.
I think people are going to get themselves
And I don't think capitalism necessarily is bad. I think it's been bastardized in the way
true,
and it's
true,
been used as a
true.
fucking weapon. But what I'm saying is like these countries that I'm looking to as examples that I'm bringing up, yeah, they still have capitalism, but they have a base of, but it's intertwined with some version of socialism. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying get rid of capitalism because, I mean, there are good things about capitalism. I mean, hello, we're using these headphones. We're on laptops. I mean, we have jobs that, provide us, there are good things. There's innovation. There are
Sure.
good things
I
about
guess I
capitalism.
guess
It's
when I
just fucked up.
I guess when I think about, and maybe I'm just like creating a reality that could never possibly actually exist, but I would like the freedom to have everything and anything without having a job. Anyway, next
You
on
just want to be
page.
independently wealthy. That's what you want.
No, I
Because
don't.
I'll admit, I would like to be independently wealthy. Goddamn, yes, I
No,
would. Would I be an
I'd
asshole and not care for other people? No. But would I like to? Would I like to have that ease of being
I'd like
independently wealthy? Yes.
I'd like to live in a world where money wasn't a thing, where mortgages weren't a thing, where going to grocery shop in a grocery store wasn't a thing, where we just had food and we fed each other and we had
Then
houses.
you would be living in a kibbutz
I'm just
or
saying
a
that when
co-op of some kind. And those places do exist. You can go live in these places.
anyway, page 258, chapter
Hmm.
21.
Yep.
The self must create its own reasons for being. To shape God, shape self. That's one of my
Hmm.
favorite parts.
Yep. Yeah,
To
I
shape
marked that too.
God, shape self.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of us who think we're at least attempting to do the work, I think that's what we're trying to do. We're
Yeah,
trying
and
to
I
shape self.
yeah, and that's what we need other people to do too. Like a lot of what is happening in the world, if we want to get like really woo woo and therapeutic and philosophical about it, a lot of the shit that's going on in the world, like all the chaos, is people who haven't worked on their own shit and they're taking it out on other people.
Full show.
Right. Like work on you,
That's
damn.
why I
Work
always
on work
say
on your shit and
that's
then go get office somewhere.
that's why I always say that Trump is just a wounded little boy who never.
That's There's more to it. He is a wounded boy because his father was a jackass and he
Mhm.
was not raised with much love, if any at all. So yes, but in addition to being a wounded boy, he's also a racist fuck who
I
is
think
also evil. So sorry.
agreed, but I'm saying I think you're onto something here. I think the year of the fire horse has got you fired up. Okay, at the end of the book,
Yes.
there's reading group questions and topics for discussion.
Yes. Yes.
So the one that I really want to talk about
Mm-hmm.
is number 4 on page 349.
Okay.
The
Sorry, I
near
went too far. Hold on.
future of Parable of the Sower reflects an America steeped in chaos with relentless poverty and lawlessness. Education is no longer guaranteed for everyone, and violence is rampant. The author has said that she came to this vision of the future by imagining our current woes progressing unchecked to their logical ends. Do you agree or disagree that this is a possible future for America? In terms of government and societal stability, as well as future technological advancements, in what ways do you believe America will change in the next 2 decades? Do you think things will be better or worse than they are now?
I do believe, yes, that this is a possible future for America. I absolutely do. I really do. Because if you do what Octavia Butler did and just follow it down to its logical progression, you're going to get to this, right? You're going to get to this story. This is not far-fetched. This is not uh and then aliens from another solar system are going to come down and colonize us. We don't need aliens to colonize us because people colonize each other all the time.
I hear you.
And, so yeah, so we don't need aliens for colonization. We've already done it. We're in it. It's still happening. But yes, I do believe this is a possible future. I do still have hope that we will not get to this point, to the point that this book gets to. I do believe that there are enough Laurens in this, in the world right now who are speaking up. And people are like, oh shit, maybe we should pay attention. Maybe we need to rethink this, right? Like, I think there are enough Laurens in the world who are being vocal and who are using their ideas and their talents and their mind and their philosophies for good. And they're like, hey, there's another way to think about this, right? There are other possibilities. And I think that's part of the fears that people think, okay, this is all that there is. If we tear this down, then what? Then what's
Right.
going to happen?
Right.
But people are saying, hey, okay, we get it. People are afraid, but there are options, right? There are other ways to envision this. If you can't envision it, that's fine. These people can, and they're sharing the vision with other people. That's where I see the hope, is that in what is going on in the world around us, is that there are people who are like, yeah, this shit sucks, but we can do better, and this is how. And these are ways that we can do this. Like, there are people who stand up all the time, thank God, who have the guts to say, it doesn't have to be like this. And not only does it not have to be like this, here's an example, here's an example, here's something to look at, here's something to think about, here's a way to get there, here are some ideas, here are roadmaps, right? And like Lauren having her grandparents' old ass maps some of those old ideas still work. Some of those old maps will still get you where you need to go. Yeah, there's going to be some changes along the way, right? Like some of the lakes and shit that were on her grandparents' maps weren't really there anymore, or they were a lot smaller, but they still got Earthseed where it needed to go. And that's one of the things that we need to take from this book, that yeah, we need to look to history, right, for some ideas, but then we need to think through them and mold them and utilize them for the time that we're in right now and for where we want to go with them. So yeah, this book, heavy as hell. Heavy. Read this and have an emotional support something. Emotional support person, an emotional support water bottle, an emotional support practice. I don't care. Have something when you read this book, but do read the book because there is hope in this. And I think we need this book to help people open their eyes and see, like, damn, shit ain't how it needs to be. Like, this is what's going on and we need to pay attention, and we don't have to end up right here.
You are like the fire horse incarnate. It's like, woo, Raquel's on fire.
Well, you know.
No, it's good. It's good stuff. I am so glad to see you passionate, and like the momentum of the fire horse is what is in the book, and it
Mm-hmm.
is what we need, and it's amazing. I just have a couple more questions.
Okay.
The next question is, do you want to read the next one, which is called Parable of the
Talents.
Talents?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to read it?
I do, but I need a break first. Like, I don't think I could read Parable of the Talents and then I think that there she wanted to write a third book, but she
Yeah,
died before she could do it. And I think some other people
have tried to write it.
had tried to write it. I don't know.
Let's
And
let's let's this summer. Let's read it.
yes, because I need to digest this book. Like,
Okay, fair enough.
I need to let what it brought up like settle a little bit, because this brought up a lot for
Yeah, I
me.
see.
Like, this book, whew, whew.
Are you
Now I
glad
need to
you read
sit
it?
and think about. Absolutely.
Okay. There are
Absolutely.
people, and I read the book. A lot of times I do a lot of research. I didn't do a lot of research around this one. I don't know why. I only listened to one podcast and I watched that thing you sent.
Hmm.
Usually I do a lot. I think I got what I needed from the book because I
Hmm.
did wake up. Even though this is a heavy book, it helped me to feel hope,
Hmm.
really.
Hmm.
But in the podcast that I did listen to, there are people who actually don't like Lauren.
Well, there's always going to be people who don't like a strong woman. Hey, God forbid it be a child, and a black child.
A black child, strong woman, new religion or new
Hmm.
philosophy, whatever you want to call it.
Right, right. She
But
she doesn't she doesn't fit all the boxes that
did
people want to
you
put women
read
in.
did you read there's a chapter in the back of the book of the new
Hmm.
book?
Yeah,
Did you read that?
I did. I
It
did because I'm
sounds
a giant
like
nerd.
I read it. It sounds like her daughter is not her biggest fan.
Well, sure, but I think her daughter is also, just from the excerpt that we got, I get the impression that her daughter is at that age where most daughters are not big fans of their mothers, where they're like, I don't really get it.
I think there's more than that. I think
There
it's
could
like
be.
I for me, it was like she did say something about how her mother would always choose her father over her in
Mm-hmm.
that expert excerpt. And I think also the point of being kind of godlike now, like they were
Mm-hmm.
following her like she was a prophet, like she was a
Right.
god.
Right.
And I think that
Mm-hmm.
might be hard to be a good mother when the whole world is looking to you
Right. Right.
to
And
be
but the thing is, though,
but
that
now
I
I want to
think,
read it. Now I want to read it.
yeah, I do too. And honestly, I think, though, that that's probably normal,
Yeah,
right? Like, if
totally.
you look at the kids of any other leader of any movement, if they were being very truthful, I think that a lot of them would say, yeah, sometimes it was really hard because, mom wasn't always home or dad wasn't always home or so and so was always off taking care of all these other people. What about me? What about I had a baseball game? Where's my dad? Right? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? My dad's out saving the world. How about you? How about you come in here and just be my dad? Right? So I
totally.
think I
Yeah,
think there's a lot of that maybe in this.
maybe. It's hard to know
Um,
because we only got this tiny little piece of it.
yeah, yeah. But so yes, I do want to read the next book for sure. Not now, though. I need a little bit of a break. But I want to bring up one thing,
Yeah.
because you brought up that there's some people who don't like Lauren, and some people who weren't crazy about the book, and blah 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 blah. But there are a lot of good things that have come out of this book, and so I posted when I was in the scene where everything's like Lauren's neighborhood is being burned down and all that, and I was feeling it physically. Like I had my own version of hyper empathy going on, right?
Oh, we
Uh
didn't even talk about the hyper empathy.
yeah, I know, but that could be a whole discussion, a whole episode in itself. But uh I posted on Facebook essentially like, hey, who else has read this book? What were your thoughts? It's hitting me right in the feels. I'm at a heavy part of the book. There's a lot going on. Y'all, I'm taking a break. What are your thoughts? Right? A friend of ours, Tin Sidnor, who has been a guest on our show. I think she was
Our
our first
first
guest,
guest. She was
right?
our first
Right?
guest.
Right? So she chimed in and talked about how there's an organization that she's involved with that is based in part on this book,
Oh, wow.
right? And so I'm just going to read this little bit from that organization. It's called Land-Based Johns, JAWNS. Not quite sure what that means, but it is a Philadelphia-based organization providing education, training, and ancestral spiritual practices to Black women and femmes. Part of what they talk about is farming practices, building community, basically coming together and learning from our ancestors, right? Like learning from other religions, but bringing it all together to care for each other and to care for the land. Basically using actual seed, right, for gardening, but also using the seeds of other religions and other philosophies and other thought processes to build community and to come together. With people, so many people being like, oh, this book is so bad, and we're not bad, but it's so heavy and it's violent and blah blah, and it talks about all
It
this stuff and it's extremism, but there's good things that come out of it. Yes, it's hopeful at the end. One could argue it's hopeful all the way through. It's just really tough in the middle, but it ends on a hopeful note, and it's also inspiring groups like Land-Based Johns for people to learn these things so that they can come together and build community and care for the land the way that Octavia Butler talks about in this book. Like, why didn't we take better care of the land?
Why
Why didn't we
didn't we?
take better care of each other?
Why aren't we?
Yeah,
Why didn't we? Why aren't we?
yeah, but
And how do
we
we get to
can.
a and that's what we need to get to a place of
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
Yeah. And so far I don't know quite how to do it, but I'm open.
Well, the good thing is, and again, this is one of the benefits of diversity, is that there are people who have ideas about how to get from here to there, wherever there is, whatever our envisioned future is. There are people who know how to get there and have ideas about it, but our strengths are in other things. So you bring all these people together, everybody's got a different strength, everybody brings something different to the table, but we all get to be at the table and we all get to be a part of this new vision, this new
Final
future.
final thoughts.
Read the book. Read the book. Prepare yourself though, because it ain't easy. As we are seeing in our own lives, our own personal lives, as we are seeing in the world, growth is sometimes painful. Growth is sometimes messy. But It won't kill you. Growth won't kill you. It kind of sucks, and you're gonna have some bruises, and it's gonna suck, and you're gonna have some days where you literally just cry your eyes out. But you get through it. Sometimes change brings about the good and the positive and the growth and the future that we really want and need, but maybe sometimes are afraid to take the steps toward. What about you? Final thoughts?
Sometimes I think God is change, and sometimes I think that, but the change is so cyclical. Like we've done this before, we do it again, we continue to do it. But what I'm hoping is that God is change, and just like the with our own personal work, every time we peel away another layer, maybe we get to more of the depth of the. I wonder if that's just the purpose of life, is to go through all these changes, and who are we? Who do we want to become? What kind
Mm-hmm.
of people are we at the end of the day? I don't know. It's confusing to me. The book was heavy. I was
Mm-hmm.
reading it and I was like, "Oh no." Like, "Oh no." Like it's heavy because the material itself is heavy, but it's also heavy because just like that question asks, this is a version of what could become, but maybe already is becoming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not living that exact lifestyle right now, but some people are,
Mm-hmm.
and not just in our country, around the world. But God has changed. I just would like to see us learn something from these lessons. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I get confused, but as I was reading it, I did end up the book in a hopeful place. I woke up
Mm-hmm.
that morning of the fire horse, the beginning of the Chinese New Year, being like, okay, if we are God and God has changed and we create, then it really is up to us. And more so, maybe than we even realize. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, I think, oh, but I'm only one person. What can I do? Well, I got to do what I can do, because if I don't, everything stays the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have to change so that the world can change.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is cyclical. In some ways, yes, we've been here before. Not specifically. I mean, the situations were different and circumstances were different,
Sure.
but it's not an exact circle. It's more of a spiral, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not the exact same place, and we aren't the exact same. Well, with people, we aren't the same person that we were when we came upon this lesson the last time.
True.
We're
True.
different, so we're learning a different lesson, and we're picking up new things from that lesson. There change is happening, and I like to think this is my hopeful side, my Pollyanna side. Thanks, Mom. Uh, our society is, yes, we as a society, we've been here before, but the circumstances are different and the people are different. And there's enough people who have learned something from the lesson last time
God, I hope so.
that it's what we get from the lesson this time is going to be different. And it's adding to what people got from the last lesson last time. It's all building on itself.
I really think that, and I take that to heart. And then I see something in the world that tells me that that isn't true.
Well, because there are still things in the world that need to change.
I know, I know, I
So,
know,
so,
I know.
but it's better in some ways than it was 80 years ago, right?
Probably,
In some ways.
probably.
No, definitely. I mean, look at me. 80 years ago, it was 1946.
Me too, girl. Me too.
I mean, neither one of us would be where we are right now in
Nope.
1946.
I'd be on mama's little pilly happy pills and probably in an insane asylum with a
Hmm.
lobotomy.
Hmm. 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 And I would be cleaning somebody's house, or I would be teaching in a one-room schoolhouse.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You
You're
know?
right.
So, but
You're
we're
right, Pollyanna. You're
well,
right. Read the
for
book.
yeah, read the book, people. Read the book.
And I'm
But have your emotional support structure in place. You're gonna need it.
And I think that we'll try to read the second one before the year is out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
for
we
another
should.
episode. I think we should
for sure. Yeah.
All right, Raquel, we gone way over today.
Oopsie.
It was a good talk.
It was, for sure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend.
Or you could leave us a comment and a 5-star review, or email us at madnesscafepodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks, everybody.